What's up YouTube, it's Adam, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Soundcore Sleep A20 Earbuds. And with these earbuds, I gotta say, I love them right off the bat, but I wanna talk about some disturbing stats about sleep, particularly with insomnia. And this is just one sleep health issue that many people suffer with. Now in the United States, 30% of US adults suffer from insomnia. And yes, suffer is very emphasized, because it sucks when you can't go to sleep. I mean, you can't go to sleep, you can't function. Now, worldwide, it's upwards to 50 to 60% in some countries, which is crazy because there's so many things we can get into as to why that is. But a major piece of it is definitely for those who have a racing mind, or they're very light sleepers, or they have a snoring partner, or all kinds of different reasons. You know, if they live in a big city, especially on weekends, like I remember working jobs where I had to wake up at like 5 in the morning, even on the weekend. And when I lived in the city, when I lived in downtown where I live, I don't really want to give my location, but it sucked. You know, I had to make sure I got good sleep, and it was hard to, because you just never know what kind of noise you're going to hear from a neighbor if you live in an apartment, or just in general with having a window open during the summertime. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I love these, is thinking about that real life scenario of, okay, why would you need a tool like this? I always look at technology as a tool. And the biggest reason is how much better it's going to be from earbuds. Now, I will get into all the specs. I mean, as a matter of fact, I'll probably have those in the description below of all that, because I just like sharing my experience more than something like that you could just read real quick. The ability to block noise is only so far, because it's just silence. It's just reducing it passively. Whereas these reduce the noise passively with the silicone ear tips and with the way they fit. But as if that wasn't good enough, that these feel like earplugs without going into your ear canal, so less earwax, less ability to really affect your ear canal by shoving anything in there, but also the noise masking ability. And that's why, like, when friends of mine talk about needing earplugs or something like that to go to sleep, I'm like, just, in my opinion, just try these out, not so you're dependent on them, but I just mean, have it for those emergency situations. Because there's times I've been on a mountain trip and I would use the earplugs, and there's no way I can block out snoring from somebody else in a different condo. These just happen to have the ability to make sound masking noise, but also you can play anything you want. You can play anything from Netflix, you can watch a movie, listen to a podcast, but most importantly, they simulate earplugs, which I love with the way they fit. So I even do a fit test right here. If I put them in my ear, and I highly recommend trying out every single ear tip, because if you don't, they may not fit very well. But even just showing them right here, I almost feel like talking louder, because it really reduced the sound of what I was able to hear outside. Now, if I rub my ear, I just want to show you, like, if I was tossing and turning, you know? I mean, they're not coming out. And I'm not even accidentally touching the buttons, because you really got to press them pretty hard. You know, and this may look stupid, but I'm telling you, this is just to be dramatic on how well are they going to really fit. And I don't think anyone's going to do that much movement of what I just did while they're going to sleep. So after all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the app usage. All right, and starting out with the app, the most important thing is to always make sure you do a proper fit test, because that's going to be the only way you get the best experience. But you have two modes. You have Bluetooth, and then you have sleep. Now, sleep mode, as it says, you can personalize sleep sounds, free phone usage. It disconnects from Bluetooth to avoid nighttime disturbances. And it has an extended battery life, because it's just going to play a consistent noise until you tell it not to, or until you set an alarm for a specific time you want to wake up. It'll wake you up in the earbuds with that sound, as opposed to playing it through your phone. So in case maybe your spouse or something wakes up at a different time or whatever, it has you covered with that. It's incredible. But you have different modes you can switch, different sounds. I will try to do a sound test at the end of this, so you can hear an example of what these sound like. But you can switch modes by just adding whatever it is you want, and you can have them play in different frequencies or in different increments. But you have all these sounds they already got built in. I like them all, to be honest. You have custom ones you can make. You can change from masking to water to nature. And you can mix and match really. So you can do, hey, I want some of the spaceship with some of the campfire with some of the light rain. And it makes some crazy noises. Now, another thing to remember is when setting your alarm, playback settings for one. So you can determine how long you want this to play, whatever sound it is, whether it's Bluetooth or sleep. You can do it on both. Smart switch on when you enter sleep mode, it'll play a different noise than when you're going to sleep. I really like that. And then an alarm. Again, you get a bedtime reminder, but also a time it wakes you up with the sound, whatever sound you want. And it's really pleasant. Like, I like the wake up tunes that they have. Again, I'll try to do a sound test in a sec. But going back to the sleep settings, you have a smart volume setting. So this is really to adapt to your environment. It picks up your microphones. So depending on how loud your environment is or whatever decibels it picks up, it's going to adjust that sound to block it out. It's really incredible. It works well. I tried it on a trip recently, and I mean, as I was going to sleep, I didn't hear anything in the background. You know, I have no idea what it was like while sleeping. But speaking of sleep, this is the last thing I'll show is I updated the app before doing this and it erased all my sleep data. But what I would say is I like it better than my Apple Watch, like I was saying, to track sleep, because this is more uncomfortable. And why have two devices on at the same time? But with the sleep data, this is what the chart looks like, an example of it. I would say it's very accurate. I mean, I usually sleep 6.5 to 7.5 hours. And even when timing it with my phone, actually setting in a timer, it was pretty accurate by like 10 minutes. I mean, who knows how accurate it's going to be overall with the tossing and turning. I mean, I remember one night it said I tossed and turned like 30 times. And I was like, I don't think so, because I had the pillow markings on my face or whatever, you know, when you know you've been in a position for a while. But overall, I think it tracks the sleep and the deep sleep pretty dang accurately with the sensors that it has. So let's go into what the sounds sound like with using the app. So let's do low frequency. Mid frequency. For stream. Space Journey. Let me go to sleep and do rain. Let's do Misty Railway. Hopefully that was really helpful. Now remember, these do not have any microphones, so you can't make calls and there's no ability to really do any active noise canceling, which means you're gonna have microphones to cancel out noise on top of being passive, which to me I think is good enough, because therefore you get amazing battery life. I mean, I haven't charged these in a week and it's still full. Like, I mean, you might not be able to see that, but even when I open the app, it's like 80%, and I've used them like 5 times in the past month, you know, and then plus not charging them for a week. So the battery is more than good enough. I mean, if you took this to a trip, probably for like a month and charged it once during that time, but I would say my favorite thing about them is just overall comfort. Even besides the fact that the passive noise isolation is incredible, everything you can do in the app, all the sounds, the fact that you can play, you can even set a timer on when you want to wake up within the app, like I was showing. There's so many things I love, but it's really the fact that when I go to sleep with these in my ears, I have full confidence in just knowing they're going to stay, which reduces my anxiety of knowing, okay, all I got to do is set the volume, set the thing I want to listen to, whether it's noise masking or a podcast or whatever it is I'm watching or listening to, even if it's music, and just forget it. Set it and forget it kind of thing. Another thing I'll mention too is the analytics and the sensors of here are tracking your sleep and your sleep habits. Did I find it to be very helpful and useful? Way better than using an Apple Watch in my opinion. I can't verify accuracy, but to me, I just think that's really cool if you want to keep track of that, because it seemed pretty accurate to me. But overall, I give these an A+ just because of the product usage and what they are. But with looking at other sleep earbuds, I think Soundcore probably did it the best, especially for the money. You know, they didn't pay me to even make this video. This is just my honest truth about what I think about the product. Please just let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. You know, my style of doing reviews is a little bit differently, and hopefully it was just helpful in sharing my experience. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.